What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John back again, and this is your match preview. It's Everton against Arsenal at Goodison Park. John, we're getting over last night's defeat, but there was some encouraging signs, especially in that first half. Things we can take into this game.
I think if we play like we did the first half against Liverpool, it'll give us a chance to get something out the Arsenal game. I said to you on the phone this morning, the way we did set up in the first half, we were quite expansive and we did go at Liverpool. I think we're going to have to be a bit more reserved of how we do that against an Arsenal team who, if you do play like that, then mate, they can just play you round, play the triangles, play the squares, and you just play it off the park. Don't think we can afford to be as expansive. I'm not saying I want us to sit back and go back to Sean Dyche days. I'm not. But I think we need to mix it up a bit more on Saturday against a very good Arsenal team who, in my opinion, play better football than Liverpool, can hurt you more than Liverpool. That's why I say we've just got to be careful how we go about it.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Liverpool were poor last night. And don't get me wrong, people no doubt in this video will go on about Tarkowski's red card, not your red card, the goal that was offside, the Everton goal that was given offside and no lines were drawn, and there was various bits in that game that you can digest, and we tried to do it in the match reaction. So make sure you go and watch that if you missed it, guys. But what I saw from certain players last night was a willingness to battle, to fight, and to try and play through the lines better. I thought, some people have been slagging him off on Twitter, and I must say, I think I watched a different game to most people because I actually thought Beto did okay, and he actually works really hard to create his one-on-one. Yes, he hits the post and he should score, but he works for that. He takes a touch. It's a poor pass from Decore that he manages to make into something and stretches his legs and gets the ball out of his feet. I just think this is a game against a team that Everton can. We've shown over the years that we can beat Arsenal at Goodison, and we do it every so often. And I'm just wondering and hoping that this is one of those games where they come and we beat them 1-0 from a corner or something.
Mate, I think we've got as good a chance as any other time, as you say, with the results we've had against them the last couple of years. At Goodison, another full house, another sellout in the sunshine, hopefully. And we can take some confidence from last night's performance. Yes, it was definitely a game of two halves. I didn't think Everton were really in at the second half. Thought the substitutions from the manager were quite poor. I don't know why he took Beto off. And as you say, he brought a player on who hasn't scored in how many months. He stuck with Jack Harrison for far too long, in my opinion. Shouldn't have took Alcaraz off. Fine margins when you play against a team like Liverpool. And then fine margins will probably come into play again against a good Arsenal team. There's certain players, you're quite right with what you mentioned, who showed a willingness last night. I thought, again, Mikalenko against Salah was brilliant. Jake O'Brien had a good game. Centre-halves were okay, apart from the goal. Talk about the goal all day, whether it should have been offsides, whether someone should have went out to him and closed him down and put a tackle in. Who's the other one I was going to mention? Beto. You mentioned Beto. What Everton did last night with Beto, and we said in the match preview, you can't really play the high balls against Liverpool because Van Dijk and Konate win them all day. I thought Beto won a lot of headers against them too last night, but we mixed it up. The chance that he had where he hit the post was a ball played through the middle, which he ran onto. Yeah, he did lose it a bit, but he come out from their two centre-halves. He still come out with the ball. That's the willingness you see from Beto that you probably don't see from Calvert-Lewin. But I also said to you this morning, when you get them chances like that, whether against it's that lot last night or whether it's against Arsenal, you don't get many chances like that against top teams, so you have to take them. I thought Beto should have done better. Listen, it's unlucky to hit the post, but we spoke about his purple patch. I think he scored 5 goals on the run or something like that, 5 games on the run. And a lot of them goals were balls that were played through the middle, which he ran onto. David Moyes is getting the best out of Beto's game by playing them balls through the channel. And I actually think you can probably do that against Arsenal, but also play the high ball. You've got to mix it up. We have to mix it up with Beto because we've seen he doesn't score one-on-ones. It was a purple patch, fair enough, but then he's missing the chances. He's missed a couple of them lately, but he's winning headers now. He's timing his jumps better. we need to get someone running in from behind. And we said that to you this morning. The flick-ons he won last night, no one was running in, so it was just going straight to Kelleher. We've got to mix it up against Arsenal. Let them know they're in for the game from the first whistle. And if we can take last night's first half performance into the game on Saturday, I give us a chance. Not the second half. I thought the second half we were poor, but the first half, we can get confidence from that.
Yeah, agreed. And look, there's got to be some changes in this team for me. The team that play Arsenal, and I might make some bold calls here, but James Garner's got to come out the side. I've been really disappointed with James since praising him when he first come back. It's just not. He's nowhere near consistent enough. My issue with James Garner is you can see it in dribs and drabs. I used to say the same about Tom Davies. There'd be one game in 10 that Tom Davies would look like a Premier League player, and then the rest of the time he wouldn't. And I'm now sticking James Garner in that mould. If you get James Garner having a good game, then yeah, he's a good player. But it doesn't happen enough for me.
Not consistent enough with it, mate. And I haven't seen a consistent period since James Garner's been at the club where we can turn around and say he's having a good patch, he's having a good run in the team. Because for me, I've said this many times and I'm sounding like a broken record, but you've brought James Garner up again, who you was a big advocate for. He's the sort of player, in my opinion, that when he doesn't play, you don't miss him because he doesn't do enough for me. For me, there's got to be changes. Totally agree with you. The changes I'd make is probably the team that I predicted for last night's game. I put Brozier on the left, I take Harrison out the team completely. I bring Tim in, but probably Decore, and you put Idrissa Gana Guy there with Alcaraz. I think if you play that team that I predicted that should have probably played last night, I think we have a better chance of winning on Saturday than what we probably give ourselves going to Anfield.
Yeah, I think we've gone with the same team. So yeah, Pickford for me, Mikolenko, Grant Tarkowski, and Jake O'Brien at right back. Midfield, Idrissa Gana Guy alongside Tim. With Alcaraz just in front of him. I'll go Brozier on the left.
Mate, I'm sorry. I never thought I'd say this. I'd play Lindstrom before Harrison. I would.
Do you know what's worse? I'm actually working out if I'd rather start Ashley Young over the pair of them.
Well, anyone, mate, apart from Jack Harrison, I don't want to see him in an Everton shirt again because he is a poor Premier League player. As soon as he goes back to Leeds, mate, after this 24-month loan deal, that whoever sanctions it is absolutely fucking crazy, in my opinion. He's a poor footballer, mate. Can't believe Moyes left him on the pitch as long as he did last night. I would have hooked him at half time. I would have took him off.
And I do stick with Beto up front. Now, there is an argument that people could say, well, Ndiaye played 50 or 45 minutes or 40 minutes last night, whatever. I don't think he's ready to start games yet. I don't think he's ready. If you had McNeil, who could maybe play 45 minutes, and then maybe an Ndiaye that could play another 45 minutes, and fine. But the fact one is ahead of the other, I think that's a problem. So, yeah, I don't know who I play on that right hand side. It's a problem. I don't rate any of them. But in terms of professionalism, Ashley Young's the most professional, but he's 39 years old. I mean, it's such a mess.
That right-hand side is probably the weakest part of the squad, of the team, in my opinion. I don't rate Patterson. Coleman's, he's hurts me to say it, but he's had his day. So you've got Jake O'Brien, who's playing there, who's not a right-back. We all know that. But it's down that right-hand side, mate. The winger, the attacking right-hand side is the worst part on the pitch for me. It's shocking bad, mate.
In terms of Arsenal, obviously they've got Saka back, and it didn't take him long to score either. So he's a threat. They've got Odegaard, Martinelli. It's not like Arsenal have got players that can't hurt you. I'm sure I've read somewhere that Gabriel's pulled up a hamstring injury. So from a centre half perspective, what's it going to be? Saliba and Calafiori. I mean, it's. they're not a weak side, Arsenal. How do you think we get at them? Corners, long balls, set pieces, through
Well,
the
the
middle?
thing is, we've got to defend against their corners, because their corners, mate, I think they score nearly every week from a corner. Got the most goals scored from set pieces. Whatever the set piece coach is doing there, mate, he's doing something right. What I do want to add to what you've just said, if the first half performance that we put in last night, we do that against Arsenal, we're probably in the game. If we put the second half performance in against Arsenal, then they run riot. So I don't know whether we can get at Arsenal as much as what people think. I think we've just got to stem the flow of them and probably try and hit them on the break. That's the only way we can get at Arsenal. As you say, from a corner, try and get the ball through to Beto so we can run onto it. Little things like that. What we know have worked in the past with Beto, but I think on Saturday you're all going to have to see a counter-attacking game from Everton.
Yeah, I read something on Twitter. I think it was Lee Mack, who's got quite a prominent account on Twitter. I'm sure it was, and I'm sure he put something like, we need to be giving Chimiti more minutes now, more responsibility. And I actually completely agree with that statement. Chimiti coming on or 86 minutes or something, whenever it was. Did he even come on? But either way, he needs minutes, because there is a player in there. We saw it pre-season, and Beto worked his socks off last night, but at 65, 70 minutes and we're 1-0 down, what have we got to lose away at Anfield and giving Chimiti 25 minutes? I want to see more of him, and this is actually, I love David Moyes, and I don't ever think I'll say that I want him out, which is horrendous, really, that a manager's got so much security. But he is making a mistake in Chimiti, in my opinion. He should have played more minutes. There's been games where we've been winning, and he could have had game time, and he hasn't had it. And for me, when he come on against West Ham, I partly put him down to changing the game and getting us a point. Give him minutes.
I think the likes of Chimiti, come Saturday, mate, I wouldn't have a problem if it's Beto or Chimiti who starts. Any of them, I'm not bothered. It's got to be one or the other. I know that. What we see with David Moyes and Chimiti, or what we want to see, is what we see with Jake O'Brien. Jake O'Brien wasn't getting any game time at all under the previous manager. And Moyes has come in and he's threw Jake O'Brien straight in. We probably need to see him start throwing Chimiti in now, like he threw Jake O'Brien in, because you're right, he does need minutes. There's only so much fitness you can gain from training. There's only so much fitness you can get training at Finch Farm for 2-3 hours a day. You need Premier League games, and the only way you can get, sound like Sean Dyche here, the only way you can get match fit is by playing in games. 4 or 5 minutes here and there is no good once a week. It's no good. Chimiti, Beto for me last night, again, we're saying this every week now, come 65, 70, 75 minutes, Beto's blowing out of his ass. Now, we're bearing in mind he played a derby at Anfield last night, and then we've got a 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. Don't be surprised if he plays Chimiti instead of Beto.
I know I don't have an issue with that, but I actually think he'd start Brozier over him and play Ndiaye on the left. I mean, look, I'm not bothered how we set up, really. I just want us to not get tanked and to go into this game and to give it a go. I'll give you my score prediction. I'm going Everton 1, Arsenal 1. I think Everton get a point. I'd love us to win. I'd love a 1-0 from a corner, proper Everton old school style. But I'm not.
I'm going to be bold. Arsenal score. 2-1 Everton. And I might even have a look at what the odds are on that.
Well, guys, again, just like we did for the Anfield game, let me know in the comments what you think, 1-1 or 2-1 to Everton. Whichever one gets most votes, I will put a fiver on. And at the end of the year, when I'm going to the Bahamas, I'll thank the lot of you.
And I'm going to town.
Yeah, right. Guys, we'll see you soon. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. That has been your match preview. Any breaking news, of course, me and John will be back. But unless there is, we will see you tomorrow for just another update video, most likely. You know, discussion points, probably talking about the PGMOL, VAR, the lack of decision making, the fact that Liverpool get decisions that Everton don't, the fact that maybe Tarkowski should have been sent off, but hey.
Not just Liverpool, mate. As I said, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's the big six. The other 14 teams, mate. We just make the numbers up. There's some sort of corruption going on. No lines. We will talk about it in depth tomorrow. It'll be a good video, that. But every time you see a VAR decision on your television screen, it either comes up onside or offside and they show you lines. There was no line last night. No line. What's going on?
I think we also will talk about the season ticket closing and the fact that there is still 5,000 seats available, but they've decided that no one else on the waiting list is going to get one, which means people like our Frankie, for example. What number was he, John?
12,001 to 15,000 or something.
And I mean, this is a new stadium. It is a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. Everton, we could have got away with a 65,000 seat stadium.
But when you look at the capacity now, it's grew by 12, nearly 13,000. And I think it's something like 2.3 thousand come off the season ticket waiting list. The rest is corporates. And as you quite rightly say yesterday, it's a money thing now. They're saving 5,000 seats for people to buy their ticket. Probably members, if you're lucky enough with that website that they use to get on, but they're going to make more money out of that. And for me, even if you go another 2,500 season tickets and the other 2,500, sell them to members. But what's the point in being a member when we see people who can't get on? They're waiting nearly an hour and then it crashes. And what's the point in paying a membership for £20 a year when I think Frankie's number has actually gone up now? What's the point? Something's not right with that ticketing system. There's something going on. And I think a lot of people will agree with me when I say that. You see it on X. Someone is playing silly beggars with that ticketing system.
Yeah, you see it for away games as well. But hey, look, listen, we're not going to get into it. Guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow for another video. And this has been your match preview.